Yo, what's good, everybody? How are we doing today? Let me move this in just a little bit so that everyone can hear me nice and well. All right. I hope we are doing well. Look, I got something new. I got something fresh. And I got something hot off the press. All right. We got D2 Play it loud. D2 explained by a Korean. I feel like this is going to let us know more about Sugar, aka August D. You hear me? And it lets us into the culture too. So yeah, shout out to the person who recommended this video. I think it's gonna be dope to, actually get an explanation from somebody who speaks the language. I mean, I'm assuming. I don't want to assume actually, but maybe he grew up there, maybe he didn't, and he's going to give us information about D2 by Sugar. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Y'all ain't gonna hear that.
Suga has delivered another hard-hitting mixtape titled D2. The first August D album, released in 2016, focused on the tough times Suga faced when he was a teenager. Suga's at a very different place now. He's much older and he's much more successful. And this album focuses on the changes of his feelings after becoming one of music's biggest superstars.
Right.
It's a very honest album, and my personal favorite off of this is the title track, Daechwita. It's an ultimate flex track / warning.
Daechwita. I want to hear him say it again.
Daechwita. It's an ultimate
Daechwita.
flex
Daechwita.
track / warning / reminder with tons of historical references. So let's take a look.
Word. Word. Huh. He doesn't play the whole thing, does he?
Daechwita is Korean traditional marching music that was played when kings or royalty were moving about or important guests would visit, as well as when army would be marching. There are two main characters in this music.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Army. Yeah, 100. There are two. Sorry.
Music video, a King Suga and a bottom class Suga.
Right.
We can see that the King Suga is a tyrant. He has everyone kneeling down with the faces down at the ground. And he beheads people who have complaints in this scene. You can see the Shinmungo here. People in the Joseon dynasty would hit this drum if they had something that they've been wronged. They'd hit this drum and the king or someone up in the hierarchy would come and sort out their problems. Except here, King Suga is killing the people who have such complaints and issues.
So the drum not even in use. Ah, crazy corrupt king.
But the bottom class Suga, with the help of BTS and army represented by the 6 other men and a woman in the scene, starts a coup. He drives up a car with the men representing BTS and also a cute painting of Bang PD. By the way, this painting has its origins in a Jungkook drawing of Bang PD. It's pretty funny. The King Suga.
Wait, that's a face. Bang PD.
With the men representing BTS and also a cute painting of Bang PD.
It's a
By the way,
nose.
this painting has its origins in a Jungkook drawing of Bang PD. It's pretty funny. The King Suga sees this and gives a thumbs down and captures the bottom class Suga. The King Suga wants to kill him and does this graceful sword dance, which apparently Suga learned in 2 days.
He learned a sword dance in 2 days. Y'all said he wasn't a martial artist, but hey, he got something in his blood. God, dog. I didn't know that they were a coup. It's dope that he has a representation of BTS like that. Oh, I can't wait till we get to the end. Okay.
Meanwhile, bottom class Suga, blindfolded and tied down, starts headbanging, singing Daechwita. Remember how I told you that Daechwita was played when kings were about, or when the army would be marching? The bottom class Suga singing this is an announcement that he is actually the real king. He feels like he's the king. The people under the king, the very ones that were kneeling to him in the beginning, are now joining Suga, headbanging with him. This Daechwita is also for them. These kneeling people are armies marching together with the bottom class Suga. At the end, the executioner who was supposed to take down the bottom class Suga actually frees him and gives him a gun. Bottom class Suga grabs this and shoots the king. I think the remember that. And the song is a metaphor for BTS and ARMY taking down the existing system and the ruling forces of the industry. The King Suga represents the system, the existing system, the few powerful companies that had control over the industry before BTS came to the scene.
Now, we have been seeing a repeated notion of this about, you know, like they're basically David and Goliath, you know, against all these big companies, industries, big people that they gotta go against. And it's cool seeing it played out in this music video. And thank you for explaining it, bro.
Bottom class Suga is Suga himself in a small company with basically nothing, as if he was born into a bottom class and winning the people over, eventually taking down the king with BTS and armies. I think Suga picked the perfect motif to convey his message. And if you look at the historical references, you'll be more amazed at how clever this all is. Well, this single verse has a lot to unpack, but let's just start with this line. The Joseon Dynasty, which is most likely where the song is set in, had a strict class system where there was a heavy discrimination based on which class you were born into. Slaves were not even considered human. They would be traded in cases their owners didn't have enough money, and they were thought of more as just things. Think about the mistreatment that BTS received earlier on in their careers. They faced heavy discrimination due to them being from a small company, and they were mistreated. So it's easy to understand why Suga called himself a slave here. Slaves in Joseon were almost completely blocked off from advancing to higher classes, so for a slave to become a king is basically impossible. But Suga's saying he made it happen. The following line is a reference to Kwanghae-gun, the king of Joseon Dynasty in the 17th century. He developed paranoia while in power and notoriously became violent and reckless. Hence the line, Berserk Tiger, Kwanghae flow. But I think there are more reasons Suga referenced Kwanghae in the lyrics.
Talk to me.
Especially if you consider what his life was like. Kwanghae-gun had a very roller coaster of a life. Originally, he was a war hero, defending Joseon against the Japanese invasion of 1592, one of the biggest wars in Korean history. His father, who was then king, had fled when the war broke out, and the 18-year-old Prince Kwanghae led Joseon troops in the battlefield. Rarely at this time did kings or to-be kings go out into the battlefield themselves. So Kwanghae, fighting with the people, won their hearts over, and there were movements to throne him as the king instead of his father. The father felt threatened by this, so he made a lot of political efforts to stop Kwanghae from gaining influence. Eventually, Kwanghae became stuck between two large political powers, and this struggle eventually made Kwanghae go paranoid and become violent and reckless. Ultimately, he was dethroned after a coup.
That boy,
I think Suga somewhat relates to Kwanghae as...
That boy was attacking everything. So he got paranoid. That boy was attacking everything, boy. Hey, here's your teeth. What you mean, boy? Like anything in sight, though. His father, though, too. Some pretty crazy stuff. Like, yeah. Hey. Walking flow. You hear me?
Dethroned after a coup. I think Suga somewhat relates to Kwanghae as he himself had been through a tough adolescence, having to go out into the battlefield at an early age, just like Kwanghae did. He was an idol with no money, from a small company stuck in an industry dominated by big corporations. When Suga started winning battles and gaining power, he must felt a lot of efforts from the existing big powers to keep him away from the throne, like what Kwanghae experienced from his father when the people wanted him to become the king. Suga Suga mentions putting his past in the rice chest. For many Koreans, the word Triju, or rice chest, is strongly connected to the tragic story of Sado Seja, which involves him dying in a rice chest.
In one? That didn't look too big.
Sado Seja was the son of then King Yeongjo.
Yeongjo.
And his father was extremely harsh on him, humiliating him and scolding him in front of others at a very early age. This became so severe that Sado Seja attempted to commit suicide a few times. But even then, he was treated terribly. He developed what modern doctors diagnose as bipolar disorder and began acting very violently. Eventually, the king ended up hating Sado Seja so much that he orders Sado Seja to go into a rice chest. Sado Seja went in, and he was stuck inside for 8 days and eventually starved to death.
Oh, that mug was pretty big. Oh, that mug pretty big. 8 days is crazy.
Sado Seja had
that boy in there.
A troubled life, filled with being humiliated and mistreated, and mental health issues just not being understood. Suga has been pretty open about his mental health issues he had when he was growing up, and I think he relates to Sado Seja. He sees himself in him. He says he's putting his past in the rice chest. It's a declaration that he's putting the old troubled Yoongi, the Sado Seja Yoongi, behind and looking at what's focuses more on how he's now on the throne and he's better than everybody else. Suga directly name drops Bang PD and also takes a shot at other artists who do drugs thinking that they write better music while they're high.
Bang PD is... Yeah, so Bang PD is somebody? Let me see. Oh, no, they drew Bang PD. He name dropped somebody else, though. He name dropped somebody else.
Focuses more on how he's now on the throne and he's better than everybody else. Suga directly name drops Bang PD and also takes a shot at other artists who do drugs thinking...
Oh, it wasn't... Okay, Bang PD is his friend. Bang PD cool, but just other artists who pop pills. Okay, word.
That they write better music while they're high. I won't name any names here, but I'm sure you can think of an artist, or a few artists for that matter, that will be at the butt end of this. Some in bigger companies, in fact.
Ooh, boy!
The diss aside, this line is also...
You didn't have to do that one, Jimmy. That was a good one, buddy.
To Bang PD's relationship with BTS. In a typical company, it'd be extremely difficult to even mention the name of your boss this openly without putting the honorifics Nim, especially considering how much a veteran and how much older Bang PD is compared to BTS. However, Suga name drops Bang PD as if he was his friend. We can sense that there is a very close bond and assume that Bang PD is very democratic with BTS. The fact that Suga is talking of Bang PD so casually is a flex of its own to others, as it's a sign that BTS has become so big and valuable to the company that he's at level with Bang. Now this is an interesting bit. Here Suga uses the Korean word hyeonta. Hyeonta is an interesting Korean slang that is used all around the internet. Directly translated as wise man's time, it is a word to describe the feeling you get right after you've ejaculated. Yes,
it's hentai. It's hentai.
Ejaculated, and you feel no more sexual urges, and you have a moment of clarity in your brain. You feel still, present, and sometimes disappointed that the short moment of satisfaction was all you got and you worked so hard for it. This slang originated from Japan, but it has become a staple in Korean everyday language, and it is widely used in everyday life outside of sexual situations. Usually in situations when you finally got what you dearly wanted and you wonder, that was it. Suga's saying he's feeling extreme hyeonta because he has it all. He has money, he has clothes, he has everything he ever wanted. And there's nothing no one above him. While this could be considered a small cry for help, I think within the context of this song, it's more of a hard flex.
Facts.
He's saying, others can only dream of what I have, but now I got everything and I feel bored and disappointed. But you don't know how I feel because
you don't have it.
Had any of this.
Where that dog go? Why you over there? Come here. Come here. Come here.
BTS has been on the top for the past few years, absolutely dominating.
I see.
Level of popularity that has never been seen in K-pop before.
That's crazy.
They're so dominant that it's sometimes easy to forget that they too had humble beginnings. In fact, more humble than most top artists out now today. They had to fight their way through discrimination, mistreatment, and humiliation.
We've seen a lot of that stuff in that other video. It will be somewhere. You'll see it.
Daechwita is a reminder that this was where they started, and they took that system down. And it's also a warning that they had the resilience and the force to go through all of this, to go from slave to king. We all estimate more videos like this, supporting us on patreon.com/DK.
All right.
To go from
slave
to king.
All right. Well, man. Shout out DK TV. 747,000 views. This came out 3 years ago. 76,000 likes, including myself. Well, that was, as you can see, August D. Daechwita. How did he say it?
Daechwita is Korean.
Daechwita. Yo. So that was August D. Daechwita. Explained by a Korean. By my guy. I didn't even get his name. But if y'all know his name, man, leave it down below, man. Say what's up to my brother. Thank you for the explanation. We learned a lot about just Korean culture and heritage through these words and through this song. And also what he was going through throughout the song too. So yeah, we're gonna have to look at the next part of the story, which you guys told me the name of. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, it was dope seeing it and unpacking it. Like I said, so if y'all like more content like this, where we're going over the history of the songs or, you know, analysis of the songs, and then I can give like a little 2 cents to it, let me know down below what music y'all want me to react to. Anything else like that, and tell a friend, leave a like. So shout out y'all, shout out everybody. Road to 10K. My name is Swain, and if you want a Grateful t-shirt, wrong side. And if you want a Grateful t-shirt, use code SM15 to get 15% off of your order. They got tons of styles, tons of things. So I'm Swain. Peace, love. I'm out.